Welcome back to the Vault. Today's video is an interview with Adam Ayed, owner of AATR, and Sergeant Justin Wall from the Professional Standards Division for Orange County Sheriff's Office. This interview takes place on May 12th of 2021. Now, Jeremy had alleged that Sergeant Vidler went to local companies he was doing business with and told them about his past. As you will hear in this interview, Mr. Ayed never met Sergeant Vidler, and the reason he lost the account was due to his tow truck capability, and the final nail in the coffin was the news report that Mr. Ayed saw. He didn't want to do business with someone breaking the law with multiple felonies. I'll let him describe what he saw from here. Don't forget to like the video, comment down below, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Sergeant Justin Wall of the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Professional Standards Section. Today's date is May 12th, 2021. The current time is 3:22 p.m. This interview is being conducted at 13574 Village Park Drive, suite number 235 at the business offices of AATR. I'm interviewing, can you just state your name and your affiliation with AATR?
Adam Kareem Ayed, owner of AATR.
Okay. Mr. Ayed, are you aware that I'm recording this interview?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone threatened, coerced, or offered you any preferential treatment to give this statement?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol that may impair your testimony?
No, sir.
Please raise your right hand so I'm going to put you under oath. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are to provide will be true and correct?
I do.
Okay. Mr. Ayed, as we briefly spoke about, I'm here conducting an administrative investigation into the conduct of our employees, and an allegation has been brought forward by an individual named Mr. Jeremy Dewitte that he used to do business with you, and that his business was cut short by way of the Sheriff's Office, an employee of the Sheriff's Office bringing forward negative information about Mr. Dewitte. That's his allegation. Did you conduct business with Mr. Dewitte?
For a very short period of time.
Okay, and what kind of business did you conduct with him?
Subcontractor, third-party subcontractor for an outside account, and we subcontracted the company, and later on we find out that he was the company officer after what I recall what we saw on the news. And we stopped doing business with him since then.
Okay. Do you remember when you started doing business with him?
I don't recall exact dates. I know it's quite probably the course of last year or the year before.
Okay, so 2019 or 2020?
I say it's toward 2019 more than 2020. We haven't done a whole lot since 2020 with insurance auto auction anyway.
Okay, so do you know about how long you did business with Mr. Dewitte?
Very, very briefly. He did not. The company did not own a conventional rollback wrecker that allow him to pick up 2 units at the time. He was operating a self-loader unit that would allow him to pick up 1 vehicle at the time. For him, he wasn't too efficient, and for us, he was not productive at all. So the relationship started us trying to help him or to help the company, and it stopped as soon as we've seen something negative on the news.
Okay, what did you see?
There was a report about him impersonating a police officer on the news, on Channel 9 News. I watch the news every day and kind of try to be on top of what's going on, at least locally. So my decision was for us not to interact with him until I say something different, or I give a different directions to my crew.
Okay. And so you own the company.
Correct.
And so you oversee everything. Would somebody come to you if they had any knowledge about Mr. Dewitte, or if he had approached them or anything like that, right?
What I recall, I recall making the decision. I recall obviously the news report that day, and I don't recall speaking to anybody else. I mean, I'm involved in a daily operation. I meet a lot of people, and I interact with a lot of people, and I don't recall a specific conversation outside the company internal proper channels, me communicating with my employees, instruct them not to give business toward the company.
Okay. Do you know a Sergeant Keith Vidler from the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
No, sir.
Have you ever heard that name before?
No, sir.
The allegation was brought forward by Mr. Dewitte that Sergeant Keith Vidler met with the owner of this company. That is you, correct?
The owner of the company would be me. Anything was done on an official base. I don't recall it. I do not recall a conversation. I deal or interact with law enforcement on a regular basis. I do not recall a specific conversation that targeted a specific person a couple of years ago. I really do not.
Okay. So you don't either Sergeant Vidler or any employees of the Sheriff's Office, do you remember any of them coming to you and speaking anything about Jeremy Dewitte?
Quite frankly, I didn't know his name was Jeremy.
Okay.
I think he when he came in, I don't know if it was an illusion or, I mean,
sometimes he goes by Jay.
Maybe Jay.
Okay.
But he was never introduced himself to me as Jeremy Dewitte. So
okay.
The name, actually, first and last name, first time I hear it from you.
But the dealings were with Metro State.
Metro State
as a company.
Metro State as a company,
okay.
Yes, correct, and that's how the paperwork was turned into us.
Okay. All right. So you never met Sergeant Vidler. He never gave you a business card and said.
I don't recall it honestly. He might not. I don't. The name does not sound familiar.
Okay.
Every time, I mean, I speak to somebody, I don't necessarily, who they are. I mean, was it on an official, let's sit down and talk about this gentleman.
Either officially or unofficially, in any capacity.
I don't recall it. And officially, it probably would stick to my mind. It would be, Mr. Adam, I'm, Deputy Keith Johnson. I would like to discuss Jeremy,
right.
John Doe. Okay, let's sit down and talk about it. I can guarantee you that would never happen.
Okay.
On the,
but in an unofficial capacity?
Non-official capacity and interaction, I don't recall it either. So,
okay. And how about with any other Sheriff's Office employees?
I don't recall.
Okay. If another, I don't know how many employees you have, but
50
employees. So if it was another manager, even though the accusation was he spoke to the owner directly, even if it was another manager within the company, is that something that a manager would have brought forward to you?
The gentleman from Metro State, his relationship was not to that stage where he would interact on himself with managers.
With anybody but you.
But at the first stage, I want to make sure I know who he is before
But my question is, if any deputies had spoken to any of your managers, they would have brought that to you.
I assume. I assume. I
Since you run the day-to-day operation.
I run the day-to-day operation, but
okay.
I think what I remember the day we heard the news report, I heard the news report. I remember I made a decision right there and then. It's not that the guy that I would want on my team. No matter what the excuse later on, okay? Because he combining 2 or 3 charges. They're moral turpitude charges.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know what I mean? It's you know, it's a little bit above the average charge.
Okay.
That you can probably somehow you give the benefit of the doubt. You know, these charges, I mean, you know, especially if they're multiple, it's hard to kind of.
You don't want to do business with that individual.
Pretty much, you
Okay.
know. I mean, I understand. Believe me.
Okay.
You know, accusations could be wrong at any time, but you know.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you know about this investigation you'd like to add?
No, I hope I answered all your questions to the best of my capabilities.
Yes, sir. The current time is 3:32 p.m. and that concludes this interview.